You're listening to Burning Brightly, episode 59, Good versus Bad Networking. This is Burning Brightly, a podcast for Christian moms who are feeling called to build a business and share their light with the world. I'm Bonnie Wiscombe, a life coach, mom, and entrepreneur, and I'm honored to be your guide as you face this business building adventure full of highs, lows, and everything in between. This is where we help each other find the courage to shine. Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about networking. And to be honest, I have never really loved networking for a variety of reasons. I've realized over the years that I personally don't really love talking to strangers when I have some sort of motive. I can talk to people all day long about nothing. If you're just waiting in line with me, I can talk to you about anything. If we're just riding the bus together, sure. But I learned early on in my early 20s when I was a missionary that having a purpose to talk to someone, because at the time I was trying to teach them about Jesus and get them thinking about their greater purpose in life, get them maybe to improve their relationship with God, it felt like there was a lot of pressure on the conversation instead of just striking up a conversation about anything. And I found the same thing to be true when I go into a situation where I think I have to sell something. And this, I have found as a business coach, is very common among women, especially women of faith. We like to be service-oriented. We don't like to ask for things. And spoiler alert, I'm actually going to tell you why this is such a good thing and why we're going to be so good at business if we can learn how to network correctly and the quote-unquote right way. I'll explain that in a minute. Now, why do you think I felt this way? Why do you think it was difficult for me to embrace speaking to someone with a motive when I had a reason to do so, when I had something to talk to them about, right? Some action that I was kind of hoping they would do. I was hoping they would strike up a conversation about God with me, or I was hoping they would be interested in my network marketing product or whatever. Well, because humans are not designed to build relationships to get something. I mean, technically, yeah. We start dating because we want to find a mate and we want to get married and have a partner for life. We start talking to somebody at the grocery store maybe because we just want to feel better about our day and we want to check in on someone else. Okay, there's something for us in all of these conversations, but when it feels predominantly one-sided, it's human nature for that to feel icky. That's normal. We want friends, we want support, we want connection. But when we go into a conversation wanting a sale or a convert or something like that, it can feel really disingenuous. Turns out I was doing networking wrong this whole time, and I've finally learned how to do networking in a way that feels really, really authentic and yields really great results. You've probably noticed that lately people have started calling MLMs, so multi-level marketing companies, they've started calling them network marketing companies, which makes sense. These are companies where you go out and network with people and market in that way, right? Your group of friends or families or contacts, and you try to sell them products. But I think that this use of the word network has made us look at networking as salesy and icky too, because unfortunately a lot of people look down on MLMs. They're not all bad, but I think that that's kind of dragged the word networking through the mud a little bit. Here's the fact of the matter. No one wants to feel used. No one wants to be seen as a project. No one wants to be seen as an obstacle to overcome. If I had learned this at an early age as a missionary, I would have understood that no one wants to be a convert or a check mark. To be fair, I wasn't really looking at it like that, but I think that's sometimes how people see it. If we really have that servant's heart, then we will reach out to people in a way that is full of love and genuine curiosity, and that is what makes the relationships purposeful and really meaningful. In reality, we all want connection for connection's sake. We don't want it for any ulterior motive. So I have finally learned how to do this. Over decades of talking to people and building businesses and trying to be more authentic in my connections with people, and it feels so much better. You guys, I have to say, I genuinely love networking now. I love sitting together with other business owners or with potential clients or just humans in general. I love to tell them about what I do. I love to ask them about their lives and their businesses if they have one. I love to find connections in one way, like maybe we know someone, we have a common acquaintance, maybe we have similar hobbies or interests. Maybe we have kids the same age. It's genuinely a joy for me to find connections with people in that way. So today I'm going to teach you the 3 keys to networking the right way for your business and your life. And I'm going to say that in air quotes, the right way, Obviously, that is my opinion, but I've noticed that I make more friends, more connections, further my goals better, and it just feels better to network in this way. So I'll give you those 3 keys in just a minute. In my mind, for networking to feel like the right way, it has to feel motivated from love, motivated from curiosity, and from a genuine desire to help people and to be of service to them. That feels very Christ-like to me. It feels very sustainable. It feels good. It doesn't feel spammy. It doesn't feel desperate or graspy. It just feels like I could do it all day long. So that's how I look at the right type of networking. Now, what I like to call the wrong way of networking is something that is motivated from a desire to make a sale or to collect people or contacts or to use people in a self-serving way. So here's a few examples of this type of networking I've seen that really does not feel good to me. Now, if this type of networking feels good to you and gets you the results you're looking for and doesn't damage relationships, then go for it. But in my experience, it has not gone over so well for me or for the people I know. One of these ways is cold DMs. So that looks like messaging someone you've never talked to before, specifically with a pitch for your product or service. I cannot tell you how frustrating this is to me to get these in my inbox. Now, there's nothing wrong with emailing someone and saying, hey, I really like your show. Can I be a guest? Or, hey, that's just marketing, right? Hey, I really like this or that. But specifically on social media where people gather to be social, to connect, to network, to give me a cold pitch via a direct message feels really spammy. It immediately tells me, hey, the only thing I want out of this message thread from me and you is a sale or a collaboration that's going to benefit me. It just doesn't sit well with me. Now, if you and I have chatted online, if maybe we have some friends in common, maybe we've followed each other for a while, we've commented on our stuff for a while, then to say, hey, I've been thinking, do you think we could do this thing that would be mutually beneficial? Yeah, for sure. I will look into that. I will consider it. But those cold pitches really get under my skin. Another type of networking that I really dislike is swapping contact info with someone who you hope can help you in the future, unless you are genuinely interested in them. Now, that's different from like telling a plumber, oh my gosh, I could definitely use a plumber. Can I have your business card, or a coach or whoever? But to just say, oh, I like your audience. Give me your business card. Maybe I'll try to pitch you later. It just doesn't feel really genuine. Another way to network in what I think is the wrong way is talking about yourself more than listening to another person. There is nothing that makes me want to end a conversation faster than when someone yaks nonstop about themselves and their qualifications and their accomplishments. I genuinely want to learn about people, but if the whole conversation is about you, I'm going to be looking for an exit in that conversation. And I'm sure you're exactly the same way. Nobody wants to feel like they're just a dumping ground for everything that you want to talk about. Genuinely seek to listen first, to understand before being understood, as Stephen Covey says it. And finally, the last action that really makes me dislike networking, if you want to call it that, is any sort of action or thought that objectifies a person. So looking at a person by their follower account, looking at a person by their popularity, by what they look like or how they dress or the car they drive. This is all objectification. Instead of looking at the human being, you're looking at something that they own or that they control and seeing if it can benefit you in some way. We've all probably done this in one way or another, and it doesn't feel great. Objectifying a person is never a Christian thing to do, and if we were really honest with ourselves, we would never want to be treated that way either. So, cold DMs, swapping contact info just to further your own self-interest, talking about yourself more than listening to the other person, and any thought or action that objectifies a person. Those are my 4 big no-nos in networking. Okay, so before I get to the 3 successful ways to network in a way that I think is the right way, let me just remind us of what a natural customer journey looks like. Not just a customer journey, but a collaborative journey. So that looks like me wanting to collaborate with another business owner in a way that benefits both of us. This journey looks really similar. So it starts with becoming friends in some way. Maybe getting someone's attention, maybe offering value to them, making a connection in some way, whether it's on social media or in person, or because they watched your video or you watched theirs. The second step is just nurturing, plain and simple. It's developing that relationship. For a business owner, maybe sending emails, maybe talking on social media, maybe creating podcasts or videos. It's giving value nonstop to help that person. And then finally, We offer even more value and we ask for the sale. That is what a natural customer journey looks like. Or a collaboration. We can also become friends with a person, nurture that relationship, comment on their social media, they comment on yours. Maybe you send a couple emails asking questions, learning more about them, and then you could offer a collaboration. Hey, I've got this idea. Would you be interested in doing a video with me? Would you be interested in being on my podcast, or I could be on yours? And you ask for that escalation of the relationship. And if you notice, this journey is really similar to regular relationships in our lives, to friendships or to dating relationships. When you meet a new person, you strike up a conversation, usually based on mutual interests. Maybe you're just standing in line. Wow, these grocery store lines are a lot longer than I realized. Yeah, no kidding. And you joke for a minute. Maybe you find an interest and you want to pursue that person in one way or another. So you swap contact information. And then we nurture the relationship, right? Maybe we go on dates if it's a romantic relationship, or we hang out. We have conversations via text or Marco Polo or email. So nurturing, developing that relationship into something more solid. And then finally, we choose whether or not to escalate the relationship. If we still really like the person, we might say, hey, let's become best friends. Hey, let's go on a girls' trip together, or let's date more seriously or become engaged. That's how all our relationships naturally progress. So it only makes sense that potential clients, customers, or collaborative partners would progress in the same way, making those relationships. We can't skip steps. It feels really false, and people will see it from a mile away. All right, so we've talked about all the wrong ways to do it. Let's talk about what I like to think of as the right way to network. Number one, there's 3 key ones, okay? Although there's lots of different tips that I could add here, but 3 key ways to network correctly. Number 1, listen before you speak. Who is this person? Try to create a mnemonic for remembering their name. Names are hard for me. I remember faces all the time, but I forget names a lot. So very often I'll try to come up with a easy way to memorize their name, right? Maybe based on how they look or where I met them. Ask what they're interested in. What do they struggle with? Really care about this person. Don't just ask questions because you think, oh, Bonnie told me this is the right way to network and I really want to have this contact person in my phone. But be genuinely curious. If this were your daughter or your best friend, what would you ask them about themselves? What would you really care to know and learn? So listen first. It doesn't mean you only have to listen, right? People start to notice when the conversation is one-sided, one way or the other. You can talk about yourself as well, and that's how you make connections. They share something, you say, oh, that sounds like me. I'm a lot like that as well. And you make connections that way. Okay, number 2, build that know, like, and trust factor by being vulnerable yourself. Lots of people online, experts, coaches, business owners, think that they can only share the highs. And a lot of humans are starting to realize that that feels false. And now we're seeing a lot more vulnerability online, thank goodness. Sometimes to a fault. We don't need to see and know everything about everyone's life. It is important to maintain a sense of privacy, I believe. But share your highs and lows online. You are not a perfect robot. And even though you might think, well, if I show a low or a mistake or something that upsets me, people are going to think that I'm not as much of an expert. And I have found it to be completely opposite. The more vulnerable I am online or in person, the deeper the connections are that I make with people. You are a human being who likely has things you can share and teach others, and many of those lessons are going to come through your own mistakes. So be willing to share them. Do not show up with a perfect veneer, either in person or online. It screams falsehood, and nobody wants to make a connection or nurture a relationship with someone who is not being real. Again, there's a limit to this. We don't have to share all our mistakes and problems with the whole world. But when someone says, I'm really struggling to get clients, you can say, you know what? Me too. Summer's been kind of a beast. I haven't gotten any clients in a little while. Or, you know what? I had a period like that too. Or I'm still struggling with that. Whatever it may be, to connect with that person in a way that is authentic by sharing some of your vulnerable moments. Number 3, offer to help, expecting, and this is key, expecting nothing in return. Now, I know this doesn't sound like an easy or even a good way to build a business. You can't give away everything for free. I acknowledge that. But successful business owners are service-minded. The more service and value you put into the world, the more people are going to be willing to pay you for it. It's true. A lot of people think, well, I have to keep it all close to the vest because if I give it away for free, no one will ever pay me for it. But if you look at the super successful moguls of today, they're the ones that give back a ton. So I'm going to give you an example. You might have heard of Russell Brunson. He is a marketing genius and is a billionaire, I believe. He's very, very successful at what he does. And in his books, he actually admits, I give away all my frameworks for very, very cheap within my books. You can buy his books for like $7 or $8. In fact, I think he even gives them away. You just pay shipping. Everything he teaches people is in those books, and they're only a few dollars. He also sells his knowledge for tens of thousands of dollars on a one-on-one coaching basis or a small group coaching basis. How does that work? How can he give away his information? And I think he does it in free challenges as well, or in cheap books, and also still charge tens of thousands of dollars? Well, it depends on the level of access, right? I'm not going to have the same success reading his book as I would being in the same room with him and being able to ask questions and that sort of thing. But he's not afraid to give away his knowledge and his expertise for free, because the more service and value you put out there, the more will come back to you. I firmly believe that. Because guess what? Now I know. Now that I've bought Russell's books, I know how much value he has and how smart he is. And if I had the capability or the option to be in the room with him, you better believe that I would take him up on it. Okay, so you get to do the same thing. Offer to help people and don't expect anything in return. Again, within reason. Don't give away free coaching forever. You're never going to build a business that way. But you can give away an hour of free coaching a week. I do that in my office hours. Anyone come for free and ask questions. And frankly, that's where I get a lot of clients. People come and talk to me, they get help, and they realize, oh, she can help me and she's kind of nice. Okay, I'll sign up for more coaching with her. Do you see? If I had withheld that help and never offered it for free, I might never have gotten those clients because they wouldn't have known that I could help them. They wouldn't have gotten that little taste of me. All right, so those are the 3 ways that I love to network and have served me really, really well. Again, listen before you talk. Build the know, like, and trust factor by being vulnerable and being willing to share your failures. And number 3, offer to help with no expectations. Within reason, of course. Only give away what you can afford to, time-wise, energy-wise, but be willing to serve for free. So what I've noticed is when we implement these 3 factors, not just in networking, but in any relationship, it instantly makes us connect quicker and stronger with other people. When I listen to my loved ones with curiosity and with love, when I'm vulnerable with them and I'm aiming for true connection and I'm offering to help them in a way that I can do sustainably, then it strengthens any relationship. Think about when you want to connect more with your kids or your husband or your best friend. You do those 3 things. You listen to them. You are vulnerable yourself. You open up and you offer to help them in a way that will make their life better. That's how we do it with our customers, our clients, and potential collaborators as well. This is the only way we're going to create collaborations, professional relationships, and clients that last and that truly love us. I know there are probably people you follow or purchase things from online that you truly, truly love, and you think they're amazing, wonderful people, and you would give them your money and your business forever. And it's likely because they have shown these 3 ways of networking. Even if you've never met them in person, they've likely listened or wanted to listen. They've likely been vulnerable, and they've likely offered lots of help to you with no expectations. So when we show up to networking from a spirit of service, that servant's heart, and because we want to create impact in the world, not because we're graspy or desperate for a sale, it will work so much better. Energy is a palpable thing. When you show up out of desperation, it pushes people away. I've seen it happen. The more desperate you get, the worse it is. But when you show up out of service, out of gratitude, with lots of confidence that you can help people, people will naturally be attracted to you and want to help you back. Remember, we have to believe that everything is working for our good. When we don't believe that, that's when we fall into graspiness and desperation, right? We start thinking, oh, it's all up to me. No, God's got it all planned. It is all up to Him, but you have to do the work of showing up in a Christ-like servant's manner. When we operate out of that beautiful space instead of that dirty, desperate space, all that is good and is meant for us will come to us. I firmly believe that, and I can't wait for you to see it in your life too. Thanks for listening, friends. Are you ready to start or grow your dream business? Click the link in the show notes to download the free starter guide to building a business or to schedule a free coaching call with me. And if you loved this episode, don't forget to leave a review and share it with a friend who might be feeling the call to burn a little brighter.